Hello again. I am Alexander Ivanov. In today's video, we would like to focus on the personalities with whose approval Yevgeny Ladutko wins government contracts, imitating competition with his numerous companies as if not affiliated with each other. But an investigation is a complex and a controversial issue, where sometimes comes out even more questions than those that we're trying to answer. We've received so many letters and links, comments and interesting documents from you, and we certainly double-check them, that while collecting dossiers on those who may be involved in supporting the Ladutko cartel, we discovered another successful scheme that not only helps to forward the cash flows of budget money in one direction, but also perfectly well blends into so fashionable today import substitution. Fashionable, and it should be noted, supported by officials at the highest level. As a result, there was so much material sent that we realized that prior to revealing health officials closely associated with Ladutko, it's important for us to tell you about one more scheme. Of course, you will hear about those who support it today, and yet each personality in detail will be depicted in the next series. In the meantime, sit back. Now I will tell you about another opportunity to make money on the hearing impaired. So, as we have already said, and the link to our previous video is in this video description, companies associated with Yevgeny Ladutko use Cochlear Transit. They import Australian Cochlear and American advanced Bionics through gasket companies in Estonia and Bulgaria, and then sell them onto the Russian market to FMBA institutions. At the customs post of the airport Sheremetyevo, they have insiders' privileges, so there are no problems. The goods are delivered to Russia immediately and at inflated cost. And Ladutko's companies sell cochlear implant systems to FMB institutions, allegedly with a minimum margin, for 1.2 million rubles. And everyone turns a blind eye to the fact that the main profit is found in what is called the purchase price. As you've already learned, medical luminaries are closely associated with the hearing aids market, generating billions in profits. They distribute purchases, focusing not on the needs of patients, but on personal benefits. And it is friendship with them that allows Ladutko to make money on government orders so successfully.
Gentlemen, let's get some money in here. Let's make some money. What do you say?
But it must be taken into account that it's important for officials that their activities fit into the published programs of the country's strategic development. And please note, in 2014, such a state program appeared in the healthcare sector. It is called Development of the Pharmaceutical and Medical Industry for 2013 to 2020. It was this document that enabled further vigorous activity of officials to support import substitution. The next step was already taken in 2015, when the well-known 102 government decree establishing restrictions on medical devices from foreign countries was signed. The market participants still call this resolution a third wheel, off the record, meaning that foreign companies are needless here, provided that Russian manufacturers participate in the state order. In terms of cochlear implants, medical officials have set an ambitious goal to reduce the share of imports by 2020 to 40%. This order you can see on the screen. What was the cochlear implant suppliers' reaction to this, given that these products are produced exclusively abroad?
There's a shitstorm out here, sweetie. You have no idea the kind of crap people are pulling, and everyone's walking around like they're in a goddamn Enya video. They're all getting screwed, you know.
5 brands, 5 global manufacturers of cochlear implants. Cochlear, Australia. Advanced Bionics, USA, Switzerland. Med-L, Austria. Neurolec, France, Denmark. And Neuratron, China. All of them are represented in Russia with the annual payment for operations exceeding 1.2 billion rubles with quotas for about 1,000 people. Look at the production facilities of these companies and be impressed by the scale. We will repeat these shots today because they are of great importance.
Yes, there's some shady shit going down, but trust me, it's fueled by stupidity.
As you know from the previous video, in 2018, the research and production company was registered with the tax authorities. The same NPK Euromax, which since April 2018 has signed state contracts for as much as 750 million. The main customers of this research and production company are FMBA institutions. And for the time being, they keep purchasing implants officially produced by the Australian Cochlear in Australia. But we have forecast that Ladutko, the beneficiary of NPK Euromax, with his inquisitive mind, is thinking about how to earn more. And now on the company's website, made in Cochlear's brand colours, although they're not a distributor, but only a reseller in Bulgaria and Estonia, we read, "We manufacture a cochlear implantation system of the latest generation, made in Russia." Sorry? What? A kind of in-house product development is meant? And on the website, the following is published in the production section. "We manufacture a cochlear implant system of the latest generation, the Novus cochlear implant and the RP910 speech processor." For a long time, we could not understand what is meant by "of Novus," and even called the company. Euromax, hello? Hello. I've learned from your website about the development of the Novus cochlear implant system and about the RP910 processor. Could you please tell me, are you currently producing this system? I beg your pardon, what are we doing now? Connection was lost. The Novus cochlear implant and the speech processor RP910, are you producing them now? Well, we don't produce anything at all. So you don't have your own production now? No? Well, I see what you mean. Thanks a lot. Not at all. All the best. All the best. That was the answer we had received in the company and continued the investigation. And we've found out the truth. No matter what the company states, Euromax claims the Nucleus devices as their own products. Nucleus is a trademark of the Australian Cochlear Limited, and RP910 is a clone of the Cochlear Nucleus CP910 sound processor. Have a look at its registration certificate. This is a cochlear implant system registered back in 2017. Surprisingly, of course, but it's unlikely that the specialists purchasing these domestic implants are unaware that the supplier is playing the game of import substitution. According to the Federal Service for Surveillance in Healthcare, NPK Euromax has not registered any cochlear implants in Russia. The company is not even an official distributor of Cochlear, because Euromax is declared as the official importer of Cochlear Limited to Russia. The name difference is insignificant, but there are two different companies, although they are certainly affiliated with each other, in addition to a single corporate identity. You remember that they still have many legal coincidences, including their presence at the Yamskaya Pola Business Center. But still, what kind of the Russian production game is it?
I don't want that kind of business. Money is not money. That's bad money. Hey! Excuse me! Let me ask you this. What company treats its customers that shittily and succeeds?
Attempts to organize the Russian production of hearing implants was made long before import substitution became mainstream. That is, long before 2015. The release of 102 government decree on supporting Russian manufacturers and the order number 655 of the Ministry of Industry. To study the history of the production of cochlear implants in the Russian Federation, we turn to the website of the Federal Service for Surveillance in Healthcare, because it's simply impossible to legally sell a medical product without registration and receive 15% preferences promised by the state. So, We have found more than one company that registered the production of hearing aids or their components. And some of these companies have been on the market for over 20 years. For example, there is OOO NPC Azimut, and according to their website, they've been working since 1995. On the site, we find the following information. OOO Azimut Research and Production Company registered the Azimut Cochlear implant kit in 2009. We had a look at this kit and found out that it consists of a speech processor implant. And at the same time, valid patents are published on the company's website. Having doubted our assumptions about fictitious production, we also decided to call the company. Hello? Good afternoon. Can you please tell me if your company produces cochlear implants? We assemble cochlear implant kits that include Russian lira processors and an imported Austrian implant. We do not manufacture, because it implies a very expensive product development and a very big investment to create a Russian implant. Of course, no one can create it in Russia. It's clear. Thanks a lot. All the best. Goodbye. This is it. We decided to learn more about the story of another domestic manufacturer and found the Istok Audio group of companies. According to their website, the company has been as long as 25 years on the market, since 1996. The company operates in many fields, but we have been looking for the production of cochlear implants in Russia, and this is what we found. Istok made an attempt to launch a partnership with the Australian Cochlear. As a result, in 2009, it registered the Nucleus Freedom Cochlear Implant System, with accessories, with a production site in Fryazino, a satellite town of Moscow. But the manufacturer Cochlear, as it became known later, refused to cooperate with this group of companies. Back then in 2016, OOO Otoprom was registered, a company with foreign shareholders represented by the Danish company Oticon. All this happened with the impressive support of Nikolai Deiches and officials of the Ministry of Industry. Here is the news dated December 13th, 2017. The company's officials are telling about the opening of the speech processor's production. Have a look. Nikolai Deiches, the chief freelance ear, nose and throat specialist of the Ministry of Health, having recently started the same work for the FMBA. He's also present here, but we'll talk more and in more details about him in the next video. That's great, we thought. Well, at least that's already familiar assembly of foreign processors disguised as import substitution. But no, even the assembly did not work.
It's not great.
4 years have passed. In this period, the production could have already reached full capacity. However, we have studied the state procurement website gostorgi.ru, and we have not found a single competition with the supply of speech processors from this joint venture, OOO Otoprom, nor news about the successful production. The company has 3 employees, 0 turnover, and the production license expired in 2021. The Oticon brand is present only in the product catalogues on the Istok website, with an indication of Danish manufacturer. What's behind this import substitution project? If you watch the videos carefully and carefully study the Istok website, then it is clear that we are shown the launch of assembly, not production. We called the company. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, tell me please, I've read on your website about the start of production of Oticon kits. Tell me please, do you produce these kits at the moment? This is a cochlear implantation. And what exactly? What are we talking about? About the bone implants? About the cochlear? About the cochlear? Are you just making them now? Yes. Or is there no production? Not at the moment. All deliveries will be next year already. That's clear. Is there any production at all? Yes, there is. And what are the components? Are they of home or foreign manufacture? Well, please first explain the purpose of your question. It's very difficult for me to answer your question without knowing who I'm talking with. Yes, my name is Vasily, and I'm just trying to find out about the components of the products. Well, you have someone who needs cochlear implantation and you decided to study this issue in detail, don't you? Yes, certainly. Well, in any case, first you should choose a clinic where you will undergo surgery and make clear what implantation systems they offer. And judging by that, you should make a decision. Okay, I get it. You're welcome. Goodbye. As we had not received any sensible answer to our questions, we continued our investigation. Again, this time we referred to the website of the Federal Service for Surveillance in Healthcare. The website contains all registered medical devices being used in practice. And here's what we found. Get a close look at the documents and their dates. It was iStock that received a permit to import samples of cochlear implants, not Otopram. And as you can see from the documents, it was received after getting the approval for clinical trials. That means that the Neuro-Oticon system underwent fictitious technical tests, which amounted to no more than paper exercises. It seems that there is no question of real production here either. All these import substitution stories have long been practiced on the Russian market of cochlear implants and have no real results.
Fucking insane. You realize that these people are crooks?
Why then did Ladutko register new OOO companies with almost the same names? OOO NPC Euromax and OOO NPC Medical Techniques. He just copied the title. Another attempt to obtain fictive registration to the Australian production of Cochlear in Russia had been made with the OOO NPC Euromax. Do you remember their failure with iStock? These plans have been already announced on the company's website, and even the specialists from the Tvartkiladze clinic comment on that. The second member of Ladutsko's cartel is OOO NPC Medical Techniques. The company registered the Gamma system with the Federal Service for Surveillance in Healthcare in 2020. In 2021, the company had plans to start production in the Dubna Special Economic Zone with 14 workplaces and a fabulous amount of investment. That is 10 million rubles. And although this amount does not fit in with the company's published profit, well, everything is possible, loans, investors' funds, this sum is ridiculous for creating a production complex. For you to understand what a meagre sum it is, let's compare with the Cochlear's investments amounting to 180 million Australian dollars in research alone. Advanced Bionics from the USA in turn invests more than 25% of its sales revenue back into research and development to provide future technological achievements. The Austrian Medel invests 15 to 20% of its turnover in research and development, and this amounts also to tens of millions of dollars. Well, the underground millionaire Ladutko in turn has invested 10 million rubles or 120,000 euros. Here is the news published in the Dubna online newspaper referring to these huge investments. Profit of Ladutsko's OOO NPC Medical Techniques is 1% of revenue, i.e. it is 8 million rubles.
They made billions and billions.
And let's take another look at the photos of real production sites and research centres. We have shown you them at the beginning of the film. This is how they look. Australia, USA, China, Austria, France. Do medical officials really support this or just turn a blind eye? Apparently they do turn. Because under the guise of implementing import substitution programs, this market makes possible the receipt of preferences, political and practical benefits for personal enrichment, for anything but not for the health and well-being of the hearing impaired.
I don't get it. Why are they confessing?
They're not confessing.
They're bragging.
All the above-mentioned firms and officials supporting them, and we will tell you about them later. Deceiving people by putting the same eggs in from one basket to another, juggling with different companies' names in order to get money from the budget and put them into one wallet. And please, don't say that this is only the beginning, that tomorrow they will build a plant, launch real production, bring in specialists and innovations from Skolkovo. By the way, we found a presentation of domestic development for the hearing impaired presented in Skolkovo. Finally, we're talking about real production development and an existing prototype. Only the cost of the operation declared by these guys is 2.5 million rubles. That's where they've made a mistake by 1 million, bearing in mind that today the cost of an implant and surgery under the high-tech medical care quota is no more than 1.45 million.
Can we make it 100 million?
Absolutely, we can make it 100 million.
And now all the same is in essence. Just compare the numbers. The capacity of the global market for cochlear implants is approximately 65,000 implants per year. And the Russian Federation, with its 1,000 to 1,200 quotas, occupies 0.04% of the global one. This is not the amount that will pay off high-tech and expensive production.
But we have a fiduciary responsibility.
No, we don't. Nobody's acting responsible. Fuck responsibility. Are you kidding me?
Here is a story about import substitution, or rather about the game of import substitution revealed by the investigation and careful study of the personalities, performing the leading roles in Ladutsko's cartel and opening the valve to the money flow from the state orders. As you remember, we mentioned at the beginning of the film that more than half of the contracts of Ladutsko's companies are with FMBA institutions. We have found more than close connections of this character with the management of FMBA clinics and employees of Ladutsko's affiliated companies' web. They've travelled together, participated in public events, openly supported and lobbied dubious projects. In general, they've undertaken frantic activity to access budget money.
They knew the taxpayers would bail them out. They weren't being stupid. They just didn't care.
Yeah, because they're fucking crooks.
And we will talk about these connections in detail in the next videos. Yes, the conclusions are disappointing. There is no domestic production of cochlear implants in Russia, and the whole business is not based on the interests of the hearing impaired. It develops not to meet the needs of patients, but to satisfy greed for profit of those who have long claimed their honourable and warm place in the cochlear implant market. And under the guise of participation in government programs and strategies, there is only a distribution of taxpayers' money among insiders. In the next video, we will talk about a group of insiders standing behind these odd games. My name is Alexander Ivanov. See you in the next video. If you also have any information regarding corruption in the purchase, supply and installation of cochlear devices, please feel free to contact us by mail. Anonymity is assured. See you again.